Hey, all you cool cats and kittens. It's it's Carole Baskin going the wrong way on her golf cart. I am headed out to find Afton. I lost the little ball off the back of my golf cart as I was giving somebody a tour around the sanctuary, and she found it. It's what Deb gave me to put on the ball of my cart so that I don't bust up my shins every time I walk around the back and forget that I've got the hitch on the back. It sticks way out. And we're going to do evening meds and snacks. Oh, it's going to be so much fun. Afton is taking care of her squirrel. She said we could go over and see that, and then she's going to rehab, and then it'll be evening meds. It's going to be a very busy day here. I'm going to flip this around so you can see something other than my face. Whoa, yeah, there we go. So that's our Bobcat Rehab Hospital in the background. And for those of you who have been following the news that we are relocating our cats to Turpentine Creek in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, we're so excited. They're going to have bigger, better cages there that we're building for them. And we expect that that should be done by October. But we still haven't decided what we're going to do about our Bobcat Rehab program. So it's usually on the other, well, it is on the other side of that lake. And then we have our hospital over here. But this piece of property we have to sell in order to be able to fund the forever care of our cats, which is what we have promised them, is to take care of them for their entire lives. And to do the in situ work, saving cats in the wild, we need to make sure that we can take care of our cats forever. And the only way to do that is to sell this property. So we're going to have to think about where we're going to put Bobcat Rehab, because it's probably not going to be able to stay here, and it's going to be a huge undertaking to move it. But we're still doing Bobcat Rehab and Squirrel Rehab. There you can see the computer that is keeping those live cameras live. Do I see her walking around on there? That would be cool. Oh no, it's buffering. That's what it is. So you found my clown nose.
I was heading to rehab and I was like, oh, I was like, she's texting me perfect. I'll let her know I found something at first.
Am I supposed to be quiet around a squirrel?
Maybe. She's kind of fearful. Yesterday, she's supposed to get, we're doing formula feedings twice a day until Tuesday. She'll start one a day for a week, and then hopefully she'll just wean off. Yesterday PM, she only wanted 2 mLs out of usually about 15, so she might be weaning herself. But yesterday she had eaten more of her solid foods throughout the day, and today I've noticed that it's not as much as yesterday, so I'm going to offer to her, because I wasn't going to until I saw that there's not much to refill. So we'll
you tell me if I'm getting too close, and I'll be quiet.
She's just scared of everything. Hi. And she's not always friendly either. She's friendly to me. I think she would bite other people. You want that? Oh, you do. Hi. You're okay. That's swallow. You can put your mouth. You had a very awkward angle for me. Come here. Hey. Come here. There you are. Here. Gotta get more. Come on. We're not gonna have dinner in bed today. You come out here. over her face. Hey, are you done? Hey. What are you doing? You want this? You hiding? You want that? Come here.
Let's step back around the corner here. Hide behind the refrigerator.
I find the males are more social than the females. Never refill. One there all the way. More? Yeah? Okay. No dinner in bed today. Neighbors on the house. More. Look. You doing? Yeah, all right. Look, you're stuck. One more. You done? Okay. Blueberry? Here, look. Here. Oh yeah, blueberries are so good. Good job. That's it. You see you in the morning. You were very messy. Very messy. You can zoom in on her now. She's nothing.
Will she mind?
She's in her little den, so if she doesn't want to, she'll just run her the whole bit.
Oh, we're having a after dinner bath. She's like, I don't know your voice. I'm not sure I like this.
Yeah, girls are always so weird, kind of clingy, temperamental. My boys have been always sweet. Like I had some of my boys that would crawl into my sports bra and take a nap. So it's a little different. When the females have always been kind of a little different.
Do you have a rough idea of how old she is?
Around about 7 weeks.
And that's when they start weaning?
Oh yeah, so when I first got her, she already had her eyes open. She wasn't able to sit up on her back feet yet or hold anything. Her tail wasn't bushy. Now her tail, starting today, has been getting much bushier, much more bushier. Whatever. I wasn't an English major. Howard's probably cringing. It's fine.
You're gonna get a text.
But,
it's more bushy.
I think I got her around like 5 weeks. I've had her for a couple weeks, but I was feeding her 4 times a day, and then we went to 3, and now we're supposed to be on 2, but she's been kind of not super into her PM, so that's me knowing that she's getting enough whole foods and doesn't need the formula as much, which is good. She's deciding on her own. She's just not very good at the solid foods, because when they first start to eat like nuts, she really likes the rat blocks, which is the most nutritional thing I can give her. I think every squirrel I've had is like at first like, oh, okay, I can eat these, to like, I'm not eating. She loves them. So she's like the healthiest squirrel I've ever raised.
Man, they're so different. They have such different personalities.
Yeah, so now she's on 2 times a day, then she'll go to 1, and then hopefully she's fine just eating on her own. But it's like you eat the solid food and it's just like a dust of nuts everywhere. I think a lot of the times they're just chewing and letting it drop instead of like eating, but they eventually figure it out. I just introduced to her sunflower seeds, so now she's getting seeds in a shell. And then now I'm moving on to winter. And gonna put her pill in a piece of red.
What's her pill for?
She is on a steroid. She gets every day, once a day in the PM to keep her stable. It's more about her walking stability. We used to give it to her twice a day. We've tried a higher dose, lower doses, and we find that she is just most stable on her feet on a half a pill, which is 2.5 milligrams once a day. So we give it to her in the evening, because we found that she was eating better in the evenings when we first started giving it to her. I don't know if it's because we had a big population out there and she was most comfortable in the evenings, but we just kind of stuck with it. And I always wear gloves to handle meds, because it's not a capsule, it's actually a tablet, and the powder can get on my hands. Some pills can absorb through your skin. I don't want any of that, and I want her to get as much of it as possible.
And I just saw this. You packed a lunch for your little one.
So, yes, I take her, because she's still getting formula, I take her home on my days off, so I don't have to drive here to take care of her. So I have a little setup at my house for her that's like a larger, like dog size carrier. And then I just commute her in a smaller carrier. So I'll just pick her up, put her in there with her little den so she feels comfortable. And that's why she gets mad at me all the way home, because she doesn't like the commute. So this is the first week where I've left her here overnight on my work nights. But I'll take her home tomorrow. So that's all I'll need for 2 days worth. And then I have fruit in the refrigerator. I'll keep the pill piece off to the side so I know which one. And then every time I load her food onto the plates, I'll put this on the lid so I can mix all this up, set it on, and know that this is the pill piece to go right on top.
She'll eat all that? That's a lot of food.
She was at 18 ounces, but lately she has started to leave food, so we dropped her down to 17 ounces, and it's just kind of like play by ear. But she looks okay, so she's not fat, she's not thin, she's normal, what I would say, I guess. Normal size for how big she is. Wash the meat off, since I use that to cut fruit in the mornings. Keep my gloves on. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow. Don't make a mess, please.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. You're just
Thank you. Because for sure I'll smack my shins into it the minute it's not on there. Okay, we're going to head back to Bobcat Rehab. We have 6 enclosures back there. They are 200 or 220 feet long and 20 feet wide. Only one cat is in rehab right now, and that is Winter, but she's really not in our rehab program. The Florida Wildlife Commission has already assigned her to our permanent collection because of her FLM. They just don't think that they know enough about the disease to know whether or not it's contagious, so that's why she's kept on quarantine back here away from everybody else, and why they would not want her released back to the wild. Plus, as Afton mentioned, she's on medications just to be able to get around. She's very unstable without the medications. Anybody who's not aware of FLM, it is a neurological condition where the cats are perfectly hungry and wanting to eat, but they just walk around like they're drunk, and they can't catch their prey, and so they end up starving to death. She's the only bobcat, to my knowledge, that has survived more than either 1 or 2 days after being found with this condition in the wild. You guys need a zip line. Looks like she had fun with that enrichment. It's a mess. You must know all of her favorite places to hide.
Yeah, once you start hitting the grassy area, she's going to be somewhere behind here. But she likes to shift as you're walking, so you have to really pay attention.
It's hard to see through that 1-inch wire. It kind of reflects back in your face.
It like confuses the eyes.
She'll be ahead of you all the way back.
Cat that walks in her own fun way. It's very unique.
Yeah, she's not great at escaping. Hi.
You did a good job. Hi. Hi, sweetheart. It's okay. You did a good job letting me get by without seeing.
She is in great condition.
She's got great eyeliner too. I just think she's such a good looking cat. what? Maybe don't move. They don't see me. It's okay. You're alright.
So was your purpose of finding her just because you need to have eyes on her every day?
Every day we have to make sure, well, she's in here, and that she's doing okay. And also it's good to know where she is, because I'm going to start opening up water boxes and stuff like that. If it's a cleaning day, we go in with her, so it's good to know what section you're about to enter with a cat.
Does she ever rush you?
Never. It's a very respectful, you stay on your side, I stay on mine. Every step I take forward, she'll take a step the opposite direction. And then eventually she'll just kind of get halfway down and go in the middle. I've found her laying under a tree waiting for me, and then when she sees me, she just gets up, goes the opposite side, and passes.
She looks like she's ready for her meds, judging by the way she's walking.
That's pretty good for her. She's going slow. She can stay on the feet most of the time.
I'm very glad to see her not panicking and running now. Used to, anytime I came out here, she would haul butt.
Yeah, I think it's all the cats that we used to have out here, and we could start going from whisper to talking to her. And there's a handful of us that like to hang out and have conversations with them. I'm one of them, Brittany's one of them, all of her, like, because we chart for her every day, how she's doing, where we found her, what we found in the cage, anything we had to do. She ate all her food, and Brittany always felt, we had a lovely conversation. So all I have to do then, now that we've spotted her, I don't pick up any kind of feces or anything like that. That's on a cleaning day. I just have to do her 2 water bowls, I'll clean her food bowls, and refill her food. So it's just fresh food and water is what I have. So I will start.
Maybe you can talk through how these are done for security's sake.
I have alarms for myself to remember things. So I do have the door down to the section of the water box I'm going to open, because I'm going to stick my hand in and I'm going to grab her plates, and since that's really hot water, since we don't know how FLM really works, we started putting her feet right inside the water box, so we don't have to like drag our feet through there and then walk on the main part of the property with the other cats, or go home with it to our cats, because we're not really sure what it affects who and how, and it's just a giant mystery. I will end up doing her water bowl down there because she doesn't shift. Most of the time when you have a, I guess we'll call a fully functioning bobcat, they're so skittish that once you go down there, they'll swap just because they want to get away from her. She doesn't do that. So I'll bring the hose down there to clean it. I will open it, but I'm also paying attention. And if I have to leave for some reason, I will clip it shut and not leave it just like wide open for her to figure it out. I don't know if she could.
Not that we couldn't run her down.
Not worth the effort.
So that's why these water boxes are locked, is that if somebody were to break onto the property, it would be very easy for them to just unsnap it and then make it possible for all the cats to escape before they're ready to be released. This whole area is for sending cats back to the wild, which is what we love to do. It's our favorite part of what we do, because that is where they belong. But it would be really cruel to send them back to the wild before they're physically able to take care of themselves. I like your plumbing here. So you dump it into the pipe and it goes out to the lake.
Because I know she puts her mouth on these things. I try not to like use too much space with her stuff. And they just recently added this, and this used to be all rocks, which was such a tripping answer. So I don't know if everybody else knows it, but I like to shush everything away from going everywhere.
And there's kind of like a yellow tint to the bowl. Can you explain why?
My guess is from A, sun, and B, the water. But what is
I just assumed you knew. So here in Florida, we have a very high iron content in our water, and it stains the bowls. If you drive around neighborhoods in Florida, you'll see these big yellow stains on the sides of the houses from people running their sprinklers, and that iron gets on the side of the houses. So we are in the process of replacing a whole bunch of our bowls. This one doesn't look bad, but sometimes it'll actually get like a scale on it that is really difficult. And there's just no getting it off.
All the cats out there, once we go in and rake and do a cleanup, they all have been getting it.
I can't believe there's any of these bowls left, these double bowl system. Back in 2007, 2008 maybe, we were inundated with I think it was called crazy Mexican ants.
Like Caribbean crazy ants or something?
Yeah, maybe I'm being racist here. Sorry. That's just how they were referred to as me, or how I heard about them first. But they're like these little black ants, and they don't bite, but they look like they're crazy. They're just like always running in all directions, whereas most ants kind of go in a row. These guys would just like scramble all over the place, and they were everywhere. And so we had to put in all of these bait systems everywhere for them. And I mean, we spent a bloody fortune eradicating those guys. But the only way you could feed the cats was in a double bowl system. So you would put the food in the yellow bowl and then fill the blue bowl up with water and set the yellow bowl in the water so that the ants couldn't swim out to the food. And man, was I glad when we were finally able to get rid of most of those bowls. But I guess maybe because she eats slowly, they probably do the same thing just for regular Florida ants.
So when I first started, and we did the double bowl system, because I was a rehabber, but we did it for a bunch of cats on the property. We would put water at the bottom of this, the food in the little one, and we put it on top. Well, I think these crazy ants have evolved over the years and have learned to float across the water or use each other to float across the water.
I have seen that, where they make like a raft of each other.
So we don't do that for her. We use cooking spray. And we
Are you not saying Pam because they're not paying you for the...
I'm just covering the label, but not on purpose. And we spray the bottom because they do not do the cooking spray.
And you know, that can work when you're trapping domestic cats for TNR, where you're trapping them, fixing them, and releasing them. If you have your bowl system sprayed with Pam, you don't come back to find a whole trap full of ants.
And I like to put her mush on top because she is just as smart as any other bobcat, even though she has a neurologic issue and she will leave mush sometimes. So I make her work for the good stuff.
Not everybody is as health conscious as Patty with her rat block preference.
It's the only squirrel I've ever known. And that's her little neck piece on top. And she did not leave any food from last night because the bowl is empty. If not, we will weigh it, even if it's like just an ounce, just to keep track if she's eating the food or not.
Faith, she sprayed it with Pam cooking spray. So it's obviously safe. You spray it in your own pots and pans when you're making food that you don't want to stick to the pan. And it's not sprayed on the food, it's sprayed on the blue bowl so that ants won't crawl out to the yellow bowl.
And then you have to be more strategic with the ants because I have seen them with a blade of grass going up over, they'll use that to get onto the food.
Man, they're smart. Makes me feel bad about killing them sometimes.
I'm trying to make sure there's nothing going up and over.
I like that she's kind of got an arrangement of flowers here with her meal.
Very romantic.
feel bad just standing here while you're doing all the work.
Oh, that's okay. I was going to do it whether you're here standing or not.
You do it every day, regardless of where I am. This gray box here is her Nest Cam, I think. So she has a number of cameras on her so that we can monitor her remotely. It's been a real challenge keeping those cameras running. If you look at our system here for internet service, that's just crazy. And it's a constant battle to fight back all of the growth here. Things just grow so fast, even though we've had a terrible, terrible drought. Every time. I've even gotten some of those like no kink hoses. There's no such thing as a no kink hose.
Yeah, ours are called no kink too.
I mean, you could say technically that that's not a kink, but it still doesn't do what you're trying to do with it.
And like you buy them all coiled up like this, they don't ever want to straighten out. So this is what we get all hung up on.
Hoses are my life. All right, this is sorry everyone, but this hose is just not playing nice, and it's got another kink in it. While she's cleaning that last water bowl, I wanted to let everyone know, I know that some people are very surprised about the fact that we will be closing Big Cat Rescue and relocating our cats to Turpentine Creek in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. It's a very good thing. Everybody I know in this industry who has gotten old and kept their facilities running by rescuing more and more cats or whatever type of animals they rescue. In every single case, that's like a Ponzi scheme. You can never, ever take care of all of your animals by bringing in more mouths to feed. It works for a while and then it collapses. And so we have been very strategic in the cats that we would take in over the years. We always took the oldest and the sickest because we had the best, at the time, we had the best hospital set up, and we had a vet, Dr. Justin and Dr. Liz Wynn, that we could count on all the time. And as most of you know, we haven't rescued any new cats for the most part since 2019. And those were cats that we had committed to back in 2018. That was the 3 tigers from Guatemala from the circus there. We had agreed to pay $10,000 per cat per year where they were, and it was, I think, 18 months to go through all the paperwork to bring them to the United States. And so we've been very obvious in the fact that we have not been rescuing cats. We have been spending our time and energy on trying to end the problem at its root, which is passing the Big Cat Public Safety Act. And we are so excited that it's finally passed, which means there won't be hundreds of big cat cubs being bred every year, used and discarded. That's illegal now. And actually, my husband just had a conversation with the Fish and Wildlife Service people today, and we came up with some really good ideas on how to stop some of the people who are violating that law. And I'm excited to see them working with us on that. So and when I say working with us, I mean, they're not working with us, but they are actually doing something about it, which was kind of our fear, like, will they actually do anything? And they are, and I'm so excited about it. I can't talk about what they're doing, but it's good, and it's going to happen, and it's going to stop these people who are still breaking the law. And then that problem goes away. There won't be more cats to rescue. So other sanctuaries that rescue other animals will still be rescuing other animals until they have better laws to protect them. But I never had any intention of having any animals here other than big cats or wild cats. And that whole problem's going away now. So this is a great opportunity for us to make sure that we can take care of the cats that we have through the end of their lives. And the only way we can do that is by consolidating our resources with another accredited sanctuary, Turpentine Creek. They're absolutely amazing. And funding the care of our cats until they pass from natural causes. So I'm a little out of breath because I'm pacing and it's hot out here. It's also better climate there, which is going to be really nice for the cats. Some people say, oh, it's so cold. It's like, it's cold some more days there than it is here, of course, but there are far more beautiful days in Eureka Springs than there are in Tampa, Florida, based on any of the places that measure those kinds of things. So the cats are going to have a much, much better environment. And where am I following you to?
That gets her actual meal in the PM. Apparently she just prefers that. And she's been doing well that way, eating a full diet in one sitting. But I don't want to put that on the meds person because it's time consuming between feeding her and Gilligan. So
does he eat in the evening too?
He does. We split his diet because he just can't eat a whole lot in one sitting. So it's split, and I have it kind of up higher than we would typically, just as like a buffer in his ounces. But he has become a little more difficult in the PM. So since he creates a lot of time, we have it to where either ops or coordinator will feed Priya in the PM. If neither one are the meds person, only because we're usually the ones that are here this late. Otherwise, it doesn't really matter who feeds her. It's just a matter of who's here to feed her. So if we have a plan, there's no question if I have to do meds, then I can have the coordinator give her her dinner, and then I will prep meds to do meds because I'm covering for Emma with everything. She'll be back Monday. This is my second week.
She on vacation?
Yes, she went to go see her family.
Sorry about this boring fence. It was put up so that when we have a bunch of cats in rehab and we had interns going back and forth down this road, we didn't want the cats exposed to people, seeing people, because once they're released, we want them to stay as far away from people and cars and everything as possible. So that's why we had the visual barricade there. We've gotten fewer and fewer bobcat calls, and I think a big part of that has been this FLM. It's a neurological condition that typically kills the cat, and we don't get them until they are so weak they can't run from us anymore, or something else happens, they get hit by a car or whatever. But it's really wreaked havoc on Florida bobcats and Florida panthers, and they've been studying it now for, I think, since 2019, and still have not been able to diagnose. I feel like something just fell off my cart. It sounded like something fell off my cart. I thought I heard something fall off my cart.
Your balls?
Well, The ball's there, I'm good.
Your safety measures are intact.
So we're getting fewer and fewer bobcat calls. And the one part of our plan to wind things down is, what do we do with the bobcat rehab program? I know a lot of people are asking that, and we don't know. As soon as we do know, we will absolutely let you know. We're starting conversations with some of the other rehabbers in the state of Florida, and I've gotten a quote on taking down these cages I was just talking about. It's cost us $60,000 to build them, and the same company said they'll charge us $57,000 to take them down, but they won't ship them anywhere, so then we have to put them on pallets and ship them and then put them back together, which I'm guessing is going to be more than the $60,000 when we first put them together. So we don't know if we'll be able to work with another rehabber that's already doing that, or if we'll buy another piece of property, maybe more centrally located to do that. My home has 5 acres, so maybe I'll do it at my home. We don't know yet, but we really want to continue the bobcat rehab program. It's been a huge part. I mean, that's how I started when I was 17, so it's been part of my life, my whole life. And of course, Jamie took that over when she was probably 17, 18 years old. Well, I guess she was 23 when she took it over completely, but still, it's been more than half her life of doing that, and she wants to continue doing that. So we'll still be looking into options for that.
So, Ryan's afternoon project, he wanted me to check his work, because he's, I think, proud of himself. He organized the freezers. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So all the
Look at
shelves
that.
were empty, and there was meat stacked in the back, and what we typically do is this will have the older chicken ordered, so I have him pull everything forward, go into the freezer next door, and then fill the back. And then he should have brought everything from this freezer, anything in the back, forward. All the old meat needs to come forks when I order, we'll put in the back. So we're rotating. And this all had stacks of chicken, which no longer. So he moved all the mush forward, all the red forward, and put chicken on the shelves. And then all that's left is these on the pallets, which is good.
He's probably the only person in Tampa that's been freezing all day.
I gave him 3 options of projects, and he chose this one. And then he seems to be proud of himself.
Well, he should be. That's very organized.
Yeah. I gave him the option. I told him to have me do it Tuesday when Jordan's here, so that we can have the manpower and they can work together. But he says it's been driving him crazy, and it needs to get done. So he chose his project.
Nice job, Ryan.
Yeah, thanks.
Holy cats, that's so organized.
It was a lot.
He got a workout
I
today.
did.
It was so cold. Did you have to wear a jacket, or were you sweating?
I wore a sweatshirt in there, 'cause I was in there for like an hour and a half. So,
Whoa.
I have a collection on my cart for some reason, the 2 days worth of sweatshirts. You never know. I'm gonna stay in my spot.
I feel bad walking on your freshly mopped floor.
Dirty anyway.
We're used to it. Let's see this.
I'm wearing new shoes if it counts.
So I just pulled meds from the PM Friday drawer. And these are everybody we have. I have the tigers all the way to the left, the smaller cats on the right, and Mouser's just special. He stopped taking his meds in meat, because then he stopped eating meat for breakfast because he didn't trust it and he got rid of meds and everything. So we have this handy dandy bacon flavored pill wrap, and I thought yesterday when I grabbed this I was throwing Hail Mary to get him to take his meds, and he thinks this is great. So,
I have never seen a cat attracted to bacon flavor.
Nobody let him bite into that, because then we're gonna have to figure out something brand new for that cat to get his meds.
They're so smart. And once they're onto you, man, they can just chew and chew and chew to try and get that pill out. Jennifer wants to know if Mouser is the most picky cat on property.
Yeah, I think so. It's basically all of the hybrids, but as far as methods of feeding, he's by far the pickiest. Sometimes we have to chase Diablo around, and some days he'll eat on his own. Some days he wants to eat from tongs only, and he'll take some and then take you on a tour in his full enclosure all morning until he eats all of it. The PM, he gets a PM meal because he had crystals in his bladder, so he gets a medicated cat food diet to prevent that. He eats that no problem. It's the meat thing. The hybrids and meat are just, that's not stressful. It's not really stressing out thinking about it. And then Beecher eats just in the morning. He usually likes everything. He goes through phases where he doesn't. He gets a carnivore kibble because he won't eat mush, because none of them do anymore. It's fine. But Mouser is difficult because he goes through many phases of not wanting meat at all, or he won't eat alone. Someone has to be there with him. He gets so distracted, and the moment he doesn't have you to keep his focus on food, he's just like, and
squirrel
wanders off. What's Ariel doing? I'll go see. Or what was that sound? Or just nothing. He just wanders off. So I spend a lot of time just keeping his attention. This morning he actually ate an entire breakfast of meat, and it's been like 2 weeks since he's done that. Because he just thinks that his pill is in everything you offer him right now, because he doesn't want to take it.
And these are the same cats that'll eat grass and sticks, no problem.
Yeah. And then he does get a PM of cat food, and I don't have a problem getting him to eat cat food, but I know on my days off, they struggle to get him to eat both days. Definitely Lauren Grant can't get him to take anything. Brittany has a really hard time getting him to take anything. Yeah, when they say like exotics attach themselves to a person, he's the worst.
I think they have us all trained.
Yeah, that's also true. But when you find something that works, it's like you're so afraid to do something different.
So they're getting boats.
Gilligan gets a boat because you feed him wherever you find him. And then Diablo gets a boat because he'll get his cat food in there, and you just kind of slide it in for him. And then Mouser also gets one. And then everybody else is normal, well-behaved meds takers. All right, and then I'm going to get Priya ready so that when I'm out doing meds, Lauren's set up a success.
She gets quite the selection here.
Yeah. She likes a variety.
She likes what?
A variety. Well, she's eating it. For a while, her pickiness was like she wouldn't touch red, she wouldn't touch chicken, she wouldn't touch mush. Now she's touching a variety of things because her interest in them wears out a little quicker. But except for with chicken drums. That girl's got bad tooth, but she wants to eat all the chicken drums. But at least she's brushing her teeth, so that's good. She gets, oh man, she loves turkey right now. Turkey is her jam. Turkey breast, which I already cut up from this morning just because I didn't want them to use it for something else. And then she gets...
And it went into her bucket, so they didn't even know to look in there for it.
Yeah, now that she's fed in the PM and certain people are doing it, if you see something with her name on it, nobody touches it. Let me grab a scale. Her typical diet was 6 pounds, but we've been prepping 7. It gives a buffer, but she's eating it, so that's also fine. And every day she likes her bottle of beef. So she will get, this is each package is a pound. So there's a pound of ground beef, pound of ground turkey. The ground turkey is your moneymaker here. Because when she gets tired of something, she likes the variety. If she gets tired of it, if you just smear it on like pate on crackers, crackers, she forgets that she didn't want that. And we'll eat it. And although she's pickier than she used to be, the great thing about it is I'm not chasing her around all day to get a new one. This all happens in one sitting, and she has a whole acre to get away from me, and she chooses to lay down and eat what she has in her bucket. So that's a good sign. We've had cats where we've chased around all day just to get their meals working. Don't want to do that because that's not fun for them. Feeling them to be thawed. This is meat that's prepped for everybody's tomorrow breakfast. So some of it still might be a little frozen.
Misty, the sponsorship kits are still being sold here at Big Cat Rescue, and the cats will be here for 6 to 8 months anyway, but then even after they move, we're going to take care of them for the rest of their lives, so the sponsor kits will still provide for them. We'll stop selling them here once the last of the cats have moved, but the people at Turpentine Creek, Scott and Tanya, have said that they will honor the different levels of the sponsor kits, like visits with the founder and tours and stuff like that. So they're going to work up something with their sponsorship kits because they're different from ours. It's all going to be a big process until we get it all ironed out. But if you love the cats here and you want to take care of them here and then later there, our sponsor kits will still make that possible. Is that chicken?
Yeah, chicken breast. So she has chicken drumsticks, chicken thighs, chicken breasts. A good thing about our feeding system is our cats get a variety of food throughout the week. So every time I make her a diet, she's still getting a variety of different things she may not have gotten yesterday or the day before because we have other options throughout the week.
Does she eat whole prey anymore?
She hasn't eaten whole prey in years.
Because of her teeth?
Only ones, I think it was preference. The only ones that are currently getting whole prey are Simba, Max, Arya. As far as the big guys, Max loves his. He's not food aggressive until you give him a rabbit. But,
and these they arrive frozen, you guys.
Oh yeah, we like animals, it's fine. But most, about half of our small cats get the whole prey. I know the weight of the bucket, so I'm trying to...
Doing math in your head.
Yeah. At this late in the day, oh man. Okay, that's good.
It's always too late in the day for me to do math in my head.
I'm not great at English, but I can do math. Nobody's business. But I also used to be a financial advisor on the side for fun before I was here. So numbers are my thing. Science and numbers. Okay, Gilligan. That's stuff. Simba. Beef. Nope. Fish. Nope. Fish. Nope. Okay. Supplies.
Yes, Diane, we're sending the dens, the toys, the bowls, the coolaroos, the big fire hose hammocks, and they build a big, like, 2-story type platform there. I've not been on the top of this mountaintop. I've been to their facility before, but this is an all-new area, And I've seen video from there, and you can look in any direction and just see for miles and miles and miles. So I think they're going to love being up on those platforms and being able to see as far, well, probably further than the human eye can see.
This is not for Kimba, it's Artemis. Poor Ryan told me, he's like, you want to hear something funny? And I was like, oh, okay. He was doing something with the shelf that the PM diets sit on, and the bucket of her diet fell onto him all over.
Oh, no.
So he had to make her a new one, and it ended up in a Kimba bucket, but it's really Artemis. She's getting fed half of her diet. AM and PM currently, because she's on antibiotics twice a day. Antibiotics, they need to have a food with it so they don't get an upset stomach. And hers are for seasonally the wounds that she had on her shoulders and her hips. Get a little red and irritated seasonally, especially during rainy season if they just get wet and dry all the time. But since she's been on vacation, she's doing a lot of swimming. And so she's swimming and then she's dry, and then she's swimming and then she's dry. And one of her wounds was just a little red and irritated, so we treat it with some antibiotics so there's no infection involved.
I see her doing a lot of walking around out there.
Yeah, she's likes company right now because she wish it was boys, and we can't provide that to her, so she's taking companionship in humans.
Of any sex.
So, Lauren, Priya's diet is ready whenever you are.
Everybody's loving your shirt. This is why people watch live. They get to see everything that happens.
Put the chicken away and eat it. I think most meds people prefer to stuff their pills in chicken breasts.
Hold it tighter.
Ordering chicken breasts, we used to do it in red all the time, but I don't know why we prefer chicken breasts, but we do.
Check-in, we talked to Scott and Tanya at Turpentine Creek about the cremated remains, and they said that we absolutely could take those there and spread them in the Ozarks with the rest of our clan. We were thinking about doing it at the April event that we're going to be at. They have a big gala that we're going to be attending there, but we decided to wait until after the cats have moved, and that way everybody will be there at the end. So we'll let you know when that happens in case you want to come. I agree, Jennifer. We should have a big bon voyage party. And somebody was concerned about transporting the cats. We have the facilities, the equipment to be able to move the cats. And, you know, it's not like a regular rescue. Usually when cats come here, they're soaking wet and it's been horrible and they're all freaked out. And it's because it's been someplace has not planned well for the future of their animals and has imploded or been seized or shut down or whatever. And so it ends up being a very stressful situation, but we can take our time as long as it takes to get the cats there comfortably and as...
We're with people they know. Like, we're not just some strangers that popped up and put them in transports and like, here we go, we promise it's going to be better. They're not coming from somewhere terrible, and they're with people that they know.
And Jamie and I were even talking about with the small cats, we could do like one van load at a time with maybe 4 to 6 cats in there. So you're actually riding in the car with them and You've got your eyes on them all the time. Afton's been on that kind of rescue, though.
To use the bathroom first.
Yeah, there is that. I remember taking all those lemurs to Lynn Cooney, and that was like the first experience Howie ever had. It was, I forget, 11 or 12 lemurs in a van, and by the time we got to Texas, we were dying. All the windows were down.
California trip with
Max?
like Mouser and Tom Tom
Oh.
and Filmo and Shiloh, and because we didn't know the cats and their temperaments, there's a few things I would have done differently. One was don't put the meanest cat closest to the people. Because
And who was the meanest in that group?
Tom Tom. And every time that you would lean over the seat to get something out of your bag, she was directly behind that rope on top of Shiloh, so she just could like see you coming, and the box was like, you could tell she was lunging because the box is just like coming at you, but she was strapped to Shiloh, so she was gonna fall over or anything, but she had a lot to say about getting stuff out of her bags.
What a tough old broad. I would not have guessed that.
Oh yeah, and the only cats that would eat on the whole journey was her and Mouser. Mouser hid underneath a skip bed the whole entire time, so we would have to use lift it up, and all of a sudden his little face would come out, but he was comfortable eating. She was comfortable eating. The other two were not. Shiloh ended up eating towards the end. But none of them the whole trip used the restroom until we were 5 hours away. And because Tom Tom was so old and her kidneys were not the greatest, so, like on arrival, she peed the first time.
Oh.
And we all got to smell bobcat pee. And
it's aromatic.
Thinking about cat pee, it's strong.
Am I in your way?
Up until 5 hours.
I'm just gonna grab cooler inside it.
No, it's in the cooler and it's in her physical bucket.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Does it have all the brown stuff?
Yep. And it weighs 7 pounds. Okay. Goal is 6, but she's been eating pretty much everything in there.
All right.
When I say pretty much, she is. Okay, so.
I'm glad to hear it, because man, has she given us a scare a few times in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. And she's still, we're just kind of seeing how she is day by day. But like I said, she has the ability to get up and tell me she doesn't want more and go away. And I've voiced to Erin, you know, if you're feeding her and she just doesn't want it, I'm not here to pester her either. That's not how we want to go about it. It's not fun for her. It's not fun for us to just come at her every hour or 2 hours trying to force food at her. If she wants to eat, she needs to come eat. And yesterday we only offered her food once. We waited till about 4:30 because we had to wait for Flint to go to Funcation.
Oh, man,
So,
Flint.
We got a little late dinner, but she came right over and laid down and ate her bucket. So it's just the waking her up because her hearing isn't as good as it used to be.
I am not going to focus in on what you just did. The cats will love it that she took the legs off the chicks, but that was just not pleasant to watch.
I don't, that's the feel of it and the sound of it, it's not my favorite either. I didn't used to cut them off for him, but they get smart after a while when they know what you're putting their pill in, and he was starting to sift it out, and so I'm just trying to give him a ball of like, you just eat this instead of take a bite, to get it all down. I just wanted to, it's all about taking his meds, it's not about eating crunchy meds.
I don't know why they don't like that. They like chicken wings, they like chicken drums, they like turkey drums, and they do not like little baby chick legs.
Yeah, I think the only weird cat that really likes the gross parts of the whole crate is Mouser. He likes to eat the legs, and he loves the rat tails. And I don't know why.
Nobody likes rat tails.
Winter leaves them every time. So when we do a cleaning day, we expect to find 3 rat tails. And then we know that she ate all her whole crate. I do share the chick with Diablo. So I can only do that if it is a capsule. If it's a tablet, I can't share because the powder of that pill is touching everything I just did, and then it would have residue on what I would be giving Diablo. But it's a capsule, so if you can get it down there quick enough.
I bet when you were a kid, you played that game Operation very well about not touching anything else that you're not supposed to touch.
Yes, especially when Priya was on the Bay Trail. She knows, so that's why we had two people doing it. One touching the pills, and the other people just touching the meat, so we're not cross-contaminating the smell. Ugh. Okay.
Rhonda, Priya is sure that she deserves to be treated like a princess.
Hybrids, we have to bust up all the stuff.
Oh dear.
I got more.
Yes, Pat, if you're a monthly donor, your money will still support the cats once they have moved. And it's because we're going to take care of those cats until the day they die. So, you know, we know a lot of people will not donate once they can't come here and see the cats. We know a lot of people won't donate here once the cats have moved. But we're going to make sure that we raise enough money, whether it's through donations or through the sale of the property, to be able to take care of these cats for the rest of their lives. And so many people have assumed that I own the property. I don't. It's owned by Big Cat Rescue. The money will stay in Big Cat Rescue, and Big Cat Rescue will keep its commitment, the commitment I've made to these cats to the rest of their lives, and will be able to pursue saving cats in the wild. So the sale of the property is what makes that possible for us to do. There's not just some magic bucket of money out there that's going to take care of all of these cats for the rest of their lives unless we do the hard things, and that's why we're having to do what we're doing. But I do appreciate people like you, Pat, that are continuing to donate and understanding that that money is going to what you guys wanted it to go to. It's going to the cats that you already know and love.
I put a little extra because Diablo and Beecher have a very tight relationship, and to get Diablo's attention, it's good to give Beecher something and have Diablo watch that. So I put extra, and I will tongue feed some temptations to Beecher to get Diablo interested.
My cats would come if they could get Temptations while anybody was being fed. They love those. They must have crack in them.
This is Mouser's special situation. I tried this for the first time last night, and it was great. And then I told Fred to do it this morning, and it also worked great. So let's
Trying for the third charm.
cross our fingers that he does not bite into a pill. But I think he thinks that it's so tacky that he chews it a couple times and realizes he's not getting anywhere with it because it's so
Stuck
tacky.
to the roof of his mouth.
He just swallows it. I'll take like a little decoy piece just for funsies, so that he thinks that, ooh, I'm just getting all these really cool new snacks. But you're taking your pill. And it's not like his pill is detrimental to his life, but it causes him some relief from having bad knees. If anybody knows what that's like, it's me. I've had knee surgery since I was 17. So.
Did you do some kind of damage to yourself?
Sports. And I had an entire reconstruction of my left. So I have fun scars.
Look at those scars.
Down
Wow.
both of them. And then, so at least maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I had another surgery because I was here. And I remember you're like, hey, no crutches behind the barricades. I'm like, cool, I don't need these. And my doctor was impressed on how quick I rehabbed from that because I was like, yeah, I mean, my job doesn't really do crutches, so I had to figure it out. And he's like, oh, you are just ahead of schedule. When you gotta figure it out, you gotta figure it out. But they would probably be a giant distraction to cats that have never seen them before. And I'm not trying to attract myself to dangerous animals like cats.
What kind of sport?
Well, when I was 17, it was cheerleading. It is a sport, I promise.
Oh, those girls are athletes,
I
man.
was the one lifting them above my head, so there's that. I didn't fall because I'm not the one on the top.
Doesn't pay to be tall.
I used to be really short for a while. I was a late bloomer, and I used to be the girl on top. And then when I got to high school, I got really tall, and they didn't know what to do with me. But I was strong because I was coming out of volleyball season, and we had a very hefty weightlifting situation we did for volleyball. So I come in, just try to stay in shape because I ran track too, and after track I played softball. So
Goodness.
I was the girl lifting, but the problem is a lot of cheerleaders are really short. So I remember doing a lot of it like this, so that I could be as tall as the girl that was lifting with me. I adapted it. And then the second time I was playing co-ed softball. So after that I stopped playing sports because I was told I don't recommend you with sports anymore. And I said, okay, I don't want to do this again, so sounds good.
You know, I'm so surprised that so many people let their kids, their boys especially, play games like football. And it's like they end up with so many concussions and lifelong injuries, and it's like, that's just not worth it.
Yeah. Like you listen to a lot of pro athletes say like, oh, I'm on like my 25th concussion. Like, that is not good. You're going to be brain dead one day. All right.
Oh, look at this. I'm going to catch up to you. Where are you going first?
I am going to go to Filmo and then Diablo Beacher and then Tigers and I see what.
Looks like Lauren is having success here with Priya, as long as we don't distract her. She's going to savor that one. Loves those crunchies. All done? Good job, Lauren. Priya, you too.
Good job! You did so good! Now that's
It will be bath time for a long time. All right, we'll go out and see if we can catch up to Afton. Somebody asked if Priya will be staying here. So what we did with Turpentine Creek was we agreed to build cages for all of the cats that we thought would be able to make the trip. And I don't mean because the trip's so hard. I mean because in the case of Carole, she's a tiger. She's 23 years old. When she walks, she's starting to knuckle under her toes. She hasn't worn the toes, which if she started wearing holes in her skin, we would obviously have to euthanize her because she's just not going to get better from that. But right now she walks slowly enough and picks her feet up well enough that she's not doing that. But she couldn't even step up into a transport. So we knew there was no point in building an enclosure where 6 to 8 months from now, she's probably not going to be alive anymore. And the same is true of some of the other cats on the list. Moses is 23, Bailey is 21. If you go to bigcatrescue.org/moving, it lists the other cats. Some people were asking, well, what about Val and Summer? And with Summer, because of her genetic issues, she could die very suddenly, just like Skip died very suddenly. Sometimes these cats that come from the wild come with some really strange things that we've never seen before, and it can be really sudden. Summer's in great health right now. If at the end of our building up there she's still doing well, then we'll build a cage for her too, and she'll be relocated. Val is one who needs a lot of ground cover to feel safe, and so again, by the end of the building period, we did not set aside a cage for her there, but we would build another one for her with plenty of ground cover. Or we may go ahead and set one of them that we already contracted for, depending on what happens in the next 6 to 8 months. You just don't know. And there was a time when we were losing about 18 cats a year. A lot of those were the cats that had come here from the fur farm in 1993, 94, and 95. And so we brought in 56 cats and then 28 cats and 22 cats. And so all of those cats reached their 20s a few years ago, and we're starting to pass on. I can't get close to Diablo or he's not going to eat. Rah! Yes. You would eat next to me, wouldn't you, Beecher? Yes, you would. But now that so many of those cats that were in their 20s have passed on, and we have so many fewer cats, we had 200 cats at our peak, and now we have 41. And I think there are probably half a dozen of them that are right around 20.
You have your own grass.
You're incorrigible. That looked like he was going to eat all that.
Hey, that's my side. He'll reach for like this and then like start coughing, and then I'll get called over. He's coughing. Like, no, he's choking himself out.
Cats.
I like them, but it's like, no. It's too much work.
And servals. So many people have gotten servals as pets recently. It's like, what are you thinking? They're always going to be hissing at you.
That's terrible.
You are posting over on Turpentine Creek's page, and she didn't know if she should be answering questions for them yet, one of the things that we hope to do is, we know you guys love seeing the cats and love all of the social media presence that we have around the cats, and so we want to continue that with our relationship with Turpentine Creek. And so Luana's going to be helping them with their social media and sharing a lot of our stuff to them and sharing their stuff to you guys, so that you can become, I'm not sure what Afton's doing. Oh, she's counting logs. So she's going to be introducing you guys to their cats and their policies, and the reason that we chose them is because they are so much like us, and they were the sanctuary that helped us the most with the passage of the Big Cat Public Safety Act. They really put their money where their mouth was and stepped it up when we needed them to just completely hound their members of Congress and stay on them to pass this bill, because they had somebody in their district who was crucial, and that person never did sign on, but they didn't oppose the bill, which was critical to us being able to get it passed. There's some people who just oppose it for the heck of it, and they were able to help us manage that. So I see that. So she's been cleaning in there while Max is all the way down at the other end, and she's locking up the cages right now so that he can go back.
I always make sure it gets locked. Sometimes the coordinator will lock it, sometimes the keeper will lock it, but in the end it falls on me. So if I pop a lock, I double check.
You're the one that Jamie's going to go, what? If it's not locked. So are they done in there, or are they going back in? Well, we got a lot done. I think I got off of the topic because the question was, is Priya going? So we have paid to build a cage for Priya because we didn't know that she was going to have all of these emergencies here recently. The vet has been called twice to come out to euthanize her, and at the last minute she decided she was going to eat after a couple of days of not eating. You may have noticed when you were looking at her, she's really thin in the hips, which is, you know, she's going to be 20 years old in June, so that's part of just being old. But we don't want her to starve to death. We know she has bad kidneys, and as long as she's eating and has a good quality of life, then we will continue to do exactly what you saw today. But if she becomes miserable, we can't do that. And so even though we have paid for the cage for her there, we would not ship her there if she ended up dying here, of course, before that happened. Oh, there he is. This is not Aria. This is Aria's cage usually, but he's locked in over here while everybody's been working on his cage. That's Max. It's nice of him to chuff.
Yeah. It was nice that they took his meds. He used to just not. Through operant conditioning is what got him. Even when he gets up to get his steps in, he will stop and take it. So operant conditioning is definitely necessary.
Yes. I wandered too far from my golf cart here, so I'm guessing she's headed out to Aria probably. Our reason for holding back these cats who are so old or, you know, at end of life stage isn't because we lack any confidence in their vet. They have a full-time vet now, or will have a full-time vet. She's there, I think, like 4 days a week, and she's about to move to 5 days a week, I think. And they have an even nicer hospital facility than we have now, which is amazing. I've seen this happen at so many of the sanctuaries where they have invested into state-of-the-art hospitals. Simba stalking her. That look. So like I started to say, it's not because we have any lack of confidence in their vet. It's because we just don't think that by the time the cages are done, these cats will still be alive. You gonna come by and say hi? Oh, hi, Max. If that were to change, if they were to get all the cages done and we moved all of our cats up there and we still had cats here, if they were able to be relocated, like Moses and Bailey are easy to put in a carrier and take up there, then we would go ahead and build cages for those cats to do that. Sometimes cats surprise you. We had was it a jaguar? A leopard that lived to be 25, I think, and a cougar that lived to be like a month or two short of 30. So you just never know. I've heard people making stupid allegations that we would euthanize cats so that we could close this thing down. And it's like, do you not know us at all? Do you not see what we do every single day to make sure these cats are living their best lives? And we're going to do everything we can to make sure they can always live their best lives. Well, hi there, Hutch. Look at you waiting up front. Is he the one that gets it?
Yeah.
I guess he knows.
Put the word out while you're doing the other cat.
It's going to take a while. Come walking across 2.5 acres. Oh, look at you.
Barbie.
Oh, you're not you, huh?
No, she knows that if I have anything extra, she gets it. So
Sorry, Ginger.
I usually get bum rush. I didn't bring extra today. I saw me.
That look. Oh, my goodness. You had one job. Is that yummy? Man, that was so yummy. Is she coming yet? Where's that Aria? Thought you were going to stand on that ball.
Sassy man. My goodness. If anyone here is new, this is Vacation Rotation. It's 2.5 acres. And every month we put a different cat out there. So it's always got to be a tiger. Only lions and tigers can have an open air cage like that. And all we have are tigers. So they go through this tunnel.
all the way over to where you saw Max and Simba getting their meds earlier. Right now it's Aria Tiger's time to be out in vacation rotation. We swap out the smaller cats in Funcation every 2 weeks because we have a lot more cats to rotate through that space. Well, it's not that Afton's driving so fast because these golf carts have governors on them. It's just so dry here. We are desperate for rain. It amazes me that this ever works for any cat.
Come here. It doesn't for Max Tiger. Like, oh, he's going on vacation. He's not going to get his PM. Come on.
Yeah, the lakes are low. In fact,
We got 100 and some people watching, so come on over. Come on over.
the pond that you can see in the background there has dropped so low that the pump that we use to bring the water over from the other lake can't pump in either direction, and the other lake is so low it can't send water over, so we desperately need rain. I keep remembering that saying from when you were a kid, April showers bring May flowers, and I am desperate for those April showers.
Let's see what we got. Oh boy. Come on. Please.
She's turning around.
And depending on how in heat she still is, she's either going to take it from my tongs or I'm going to have to pile it on the ground. Because she will not always follow you to the water. And I have to stuff her pills fresh because her antibiotics are chalky. And they're very bitter. And if she figures it out, then we're all out of luck going on forward.
What do you think about bacon, Aria?
Yeah. You want to try some bacon wrap?
The hybrids say it's great.
Oh, the yucky. Girl, how are you for stick feeding? You coming out of it? Come here.
No, you come to me.
You have more legs than I do. Oh. Okay, what's wrong with you? No. Here. Hey. Oh. Now you got all the seasoning on it. Yeah, ew. Hey. 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 Okay, we're still in heat. Got it.
I can't help
with
you.
anything.
I don't even have
Virtual people
snacks.
can't help you either. Hey, I don't want to pile it on the side. That'd make it yucky.
I'm going to get uncomfortably close to Afton so that there's only one option for you.
Oh, that's lovely.
You want to catch some of that? Have you been napping all day? You gotta go. And go. And go.
Tiger-sized bladder here.
Is it me or does she have more of a ruff than most females? See how her fur kind of like sticks out around her
Yeah,
neck?
she's also just got a weird neck, I feel. Like a thicker neck?
Yeah. You have a neck like a boy.
Could you have done that before you got here? Oh. Okay. Oh, welcome back. Let's try this again. Awesome, that was a cool piece. Oh man. Okay, good job. Don't chew that.
picture? Yeah.
Ooh.
Cat with no canines can still eat bones.
I'll just gum this to death.
Oh, where are you going? Oh, you peed over there.
Blech.
Oh my god.
It's funny how the only pieces Priya wanted to take away from Lauren and step back a bit was the ones that had bones in it. Everything else she's happy to eat right there.
Right. Mm-hmm. She did that to me the other day. Just would step back for the chicken drums.
She's like, I trust you for this other stuff, but on this, no.
I always feel they're just a little more savage for the boned items, even if they're not food aggressive about it. They want that and they don't want you to take that away.
I know, Hillary. Wasn't that like the first lesson? Never eat where you pee?
I don't know anybody that eats on the toilet. So, like, hey, come back over here, it's cleaner. Hey, I got more.
Do you think Max is hard of hearing? Seems like I startle him an awful lot on my bike.
I don't think so. I think he's selective hearing.
Oh, that could be. So
Possibly.
focused.
He's just the most unengaged of the tigers. He reminds me of Hoover a lot. Just like, I'm not really worried about that. Oh, you brought food? Which is strange. I don't know if I feel like if I was built like this, I'd be like, where's the food? Would you hear her like humming?
Is that her?
Yeah.
Well, that's unique. Can you sing too? Can we get this humming sound? What is that? Oh, you gotta chew it though. It sounds suspiciously like nom 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 nom.
You gotta chew it, baby girl.
Is that too close? Means you eat it too fast.
Yeah, you want so much. Des does that. You get too close when he has food and he nom-noms for sure. This one we're gonna have to toss on the ground, baby, okay? Because it's too crumbly. Ready?
Catch. Oh, good catch. Kind of. It hit your paw. I'll count it. Thank God for Apple Watches, eh?
They're definitely wonderful.
She can check all her messages without having to reach that nasty hand into her pocket to pull out her phone.
And then I can tell, like, is it important to where I need to step back, or I can just glance and carry on. Are you gonna clean up that mess? Or you're gonna leave it for the cleaners? It'd be nicer if you go all the way to walk out, but that's a 2 acre walk. From where we are.
What is that? Alright, whatever you don't get, the cleaners will get in the morning.
Here on her shoulder, you can see this is what she's getting those meds for. Sometimes these little wounds start getting pink and irritated.
You got it, girl.
Pamela wants to know how much she's eating.
She has 4.5 pounds in this bucket. Her diet's typically 9 pounds, so we split it in half. 13 years ago, I wouldn't have touched that with my hands.
We were all looking at Aria, but Afton had some...
Chicken goo on my hands.
That's a nice way to put it. Oh, that's nice that Facebook matched your donation. You know, sometimes they're amazing. We were able to raise through the reels that we've been posting. Those are videos that are portrait style and under a minute. And we raised $5,500 in a 2-week period this past 2 weeks, and the week before that, or the 2 weeks before that, it was $4,500. So thank you everybody who's watching those reels, because it really is paying off for the cats. All right, well, she's the last one on your list.
She is. I just have to, well, no, Mouser, but I waited him for last because he's going to be very time consuming. Not only is he finicky, but he's slow. Very slow. Good job, okay? You did very good.
All right, everybody, it's 5:30. I still have to bike home, so I'm going to call it a day. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, everybody who's answered questions in the comments. And join us tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. We're going to do an Ask Me Anything about the move. It'll be Howie and I answering all of your questions live. And if you have any questions that you want to send in beforehand, if maybe you can't be there at 10:30, but you could play it later, be sure and let us know. You can send those to Deb or Luana here on Facebook, and they can give those to us so that we can be sure and answer any questions that you have. Love you guys. Bye. Aria, I just hate to leave you. You're such a fluffy tiger. You're so floofy. Yes, you're such a love.